Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, Americans. It's Monday. Again, I tried that last week, and I thought maybe it was just the way I delivered it. I don't think so now. I think there's just no way to make that a good thing. Welcome. It is actually great to have you with us, and we got the whole week to spend together. And we started out with a brand new bingo card, which is, I'm guessing, right? Attached to the top of the Twitter page, which of course I know because I've been on Twitter all morning.
Pat Unleashed is the Twitter profile you'll be looking for. And what do they do if they get bingo? So
you'd call 888-900-3393 if you're the first one through with bingo. Then you win $30 worth of merchandise from patgrayshop.com and a dozen cookies from Kexi.com.
So you're listening for these items.
And they start in the upper left-hand corner with the Mars slave colony. I just looked for that again today, and because, he's been removed from YouTube and all that, all of those videos are gone.
Oh, didn't I send that to you, though? Because we had
did you send it to me?
We had an enterprising Pathead who sent that to us. So
okay.
Anyway, it should be in your inbox.
I'll search. Then we've got a Volkswagen or broccoli in utero, because you don't know what it is.
No way to know.
I mean, is it a human? Is it asparagus? I don't know. Could be a Volkswagen. Could be broccoli. A Buick. There's just no way to tell. The day democracy almost died. Then we have Jeffy saying, business. Barack knows we have to.
And Barack knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices. We're going to have to change our conversation.
Sure.
We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place.
Boy, have we ever done that. Whew. Keith saying,
oh, snap.
Starts the next column. Jeffy mentions Harambe.
Man.
And we have the wonderful sad music. It accompanies sad stories from time to time.
That really gets you right where you live, right?
Doesn't it? Yeah. Is there a number we can call, Ivan? Wasted N in Glen, because you don't need two N's. The first N does it all. Gobbledygook. This.
Avocados from Mexico.
Jeffy is overweight. The wonderful, let me eat! That's not part of it, but, it could. I'm actually looking for the Al Sharpton one, which I found again this morning.
Why was traffic problems email sent?
I really was just avoiding that because I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer. I wish I did, but I don't know why was traffic problems email sent. If anybody knows, maybe they can let us know at 888-900-3393. Our next box, that's a thing. Starting out the next column, how's your day going so far? Then Pat corrects grammar or pronunciation. I can't imagine that happening. Really? I love this. One of my all-time favorite Biden clips.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.
Okay.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
Wait, what?
So it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Kids jumping on his lap. That is one of the weirder stories ever uttered by anybody for any reason. What is the reason you would tell that story? Wow. Keith says,
if you have a gun to your head,
right,
make a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeffy, good luck, God bless. AOC, gut
check. Stop.
Keith makes an
overtime suggestion.
Overtime suggestion.
Talk about that in overtime today.
This is MAGA country. Too soon. And arriba. So it's a fun one. Be listening for those. And then, of course, as we mentioned, when you get bingo, call us for fabulous prizes selected especially for you. Last night, Joe Biden got back from Japan.
Good.
Man, did you miss him?
Did I?
Man, it just wasn't quite the same in the country without him. Later today, he'll meet with Speaker McCarthy on the debt ceiling. He thinks he's found a way to get around the Republicans. In Asia, where he met, the rest of the G7 summit leaders, he was sharp as a tack. I don't think he has any choice but to be sharp as a tack. Here he is discussing the Quad, a four-nation group that organized in 2017.
Wait, what year did it organize?
2017 under Donald Trump.
All right, interesting.
Check this out.
And what's going on now is look at the meeting we had here today and yesterday, the Quad. I bet you, maybe some of you thought it, but I doubt many people in this audience or any other audience would have said that 2 years after being elected, I'd be able to convince India, Australia, Japan, and the United States to form an organization called the Quad to maintain stability in the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea.
It's flabbergasting that he takes credit for something he didn't do, that it already existed when he got on. Bet you wouldn't expect me to be able to put together these people. Well, no, we didn't. And in fact, you didn't. So,
and was he just coming off of a marathon run there?
Wow.
I mean,
man.
Give the guy something.
Just standing is a marathon for him.
Oxygen for that guy.
Of course, our allies, like South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol. Do you even know how to pronounce that?
I know that Joe Biden doesn't, since he called him something completely different yesterday.
Okay, so it's Yoon Suk Yeol, looks like. Anyway, here's what he had to say about Yoon Suk.
I've spoken at length with President Loon of South Korea.
President Loon.
He came to Washington.
Go back again. Okay, granted, it's a tough name, maybe.
Yoon and Loon, no.
No. This part is pretty easy. Let's hear that again. Jeez.
I've spoken at length with President Loon of South Korea. He came to Washington of late.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
It's an absolute embarrassment. But, that's every day with him. Every day.
Every day.
I've spoken with President Loon. He is kind of loony, so he's really aptly named.
Now, I didn't know this next clip. I didn't know what to title it, so on your sheet it just says, Biden talks debt reduction or something. Honestly, no idea what he's trying to say here, but boy, him and numbers.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other, for example, the idea that we're, in terms of taxes, that they refuse to, for example, I was able to balance the budget and pass everything from the global warming bill. Anyway.
Wait, pause it for a second.
What was it? What was that bill called? The global warming bill? What are you talking about? I
was able to pass. What?
I know that as the Inflation Reduction Act, sir.
And it wasn't a budget that he passed.
I know.
What are you talking about? Every word in that sentence is a lie. Start from the beginning again, because this is amazing.
Yeah, one of the things he wants to do when he talks about, Republicans won't even discuss new revenues. They want to raise taxes, and they want to tax Bitcoin miners 30%. Bro,
crazy.
He's grotesque and terrifying.
Let's hear it again.
And there's a lot of other, for example, the idea that we're, in terms of taxes, that they refuse to, for example,
pause it. That they refuse to, what? Raise? Can you not say the word raise? Because nobody's in favor of that, but you stinking communists. For the taxes that they refuse to, well, for example, they refuse to what? There needs to be a verb coming up there. What are they refusing to do?
Are you correcting his grammar, sir?
I guess I am.
Yes, you are.
Which is hard to believe because I never do that.
Never do it.
I never do that. All right, let's hear the rest of this. Unreal.
And pass everything from the global warming bill. Anyway, I was able to cut by $1.7 billion in the first 2 years.
Oh, shut up.
The deficit that we were...
Pause it again. I don't know how we're going to get through these if they're all this bad. Okay, the $1.7 trillion. It's been proven over and over and over again. He's not responsible for that. He didn't cut the budget by $1.7 trillion. The COVID emergency relief bills all stopped because we weren't in a COVID emergency anymore. So, of course, when you're not spending $1.7 trillion on an emergency pandemic, yeah, that much of it goes away. He's more than made up for it, of course, which that part he conveniently leaves out.
Sure, he balanced the budget that doesn't exist.
Balanced the budget, the non-existent budget. He had more.
And because I was able to say to it that the 55 corporations in America that made $400 billion, or $40 billion, $400 billion, that they...
Pause for a second. Okay, we're not going to get through this. You got to go back to that. Listen to him struggle with these numbers again. I mean, we've noticed for some time that he has this difficulty, but it's incredible.
Are you seeing why the title of this clip is Biden talks debt reduction or something?
Or something, yes. Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's hear that last part again.
That they pay zero in tax. Zero.
Wait.
No, go back further.
He wants to hear the $400 billion references.
Yeah, I want to hear him try to get through the numbers because he can't. He just can't do it. It's written right in front of him.
$400 billion or $40 billion, $400 billion.
4 tries.
That they pay zero in tax.
And we walk away from this clip going, I have no idea what the number is.
What is he trying to say there? Who knows? Is that the end, or do we have more?
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
So,
a lion sack.
He's good at this.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, the billion, million, trillion
I was going to bring
thing.
$1 trillion, $700 billion off the sidelines investment.
He can't. He just cannot do it. It's written right in front of you. I'm guessing by now they spell it out for him because, you wouldn't write the actual number because he can't get that. But if you write F-O-U-R, 100, H-U-N-D-R-E-D, 100, 400 billion, B-I-L-L-I-O-N, you should be able to say that, right? No, he can't. He can't do it.
It's painful.
He didn't balance any budget. He didn't cut. I mean, the Washington Post has debunked that over and over and over. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what they gave the bottomless lie to, because he just keeps saying it over and over and over and over.
That was the one.
Usually their thing is 4 Pinocchios. This was called a bottomless lie because he continues to lie about it, even though it's been fact-checked by everybody, even liberal outlets, and he still continues to make that claim. But he's really been on top of things lately.
Yeah. You know how McCarthy, since January, has been trying to get, the president and the White House to take the debt ceiling talk seriously.
And sit down together.
Right.
Hammer it out. Let's get it settled.
And Joe Biden is such a Marxist vessel that they only clue him in on things when they absolutely have to. Mm-hmm. And so any meetings that have been happening have been not with him, but with members of his Marxist team. And him and McCarthy did a phone call last night when he was flying back. But to show you how completely disconnected this empty suit is, he's talking to the press in Hiroshima the other day, and he thinks that maybe the press knows more about what's going on, what the latest is on the debt talks than him. I mean, this is so embarrassing. This is tragic, man.
The budget side of the equation, they came along and said initially, it's hard to determine where they are, quite frankly. And I don't know, you all may know more from questioning them than I do.
What an interesting admission from him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they probably know more about everything than you do. Even though he just told us a week or two ago that he was the wisest, most experienced, smartest guy around.
Yeah.
There's nobody smarter than him, and now all of a sudden the press knows more about this than he does?
Help us.
All right. And he's the one supposedly that's been open to negotiation. He just can't get the the MAGA Republicans to sit down and work this thing out.
Done everything he can, Pat. What do you want from him?
I mean, it's like trying to get blood from a turnip. That's what it's like.
He's a turnip.
He's a turnip. All right. And as things stumble along with the debt ceiling talk, does he think any of the blame is his? What a surprise this will be to you, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, watch
And
this.
Mr. President, on the debt limit, you said already, I've done my part.
I've done my part.
There's a breach. Nobody's going to blame you.
Of course, no one will blame me. I know you won't. You'll be saying Biden did a wonderful job. I know you.
Are you blameless?
On the merits, based on what I've offered, I would be blameless. On the politics of it, no one will be blameless. And by the way, that's one of the things that some are contemplating. I actually had. Well, I got to be careful here.
Got to be careful here.
I think there are some MAGA Republicans in the House who know the damage that it would do to the economy. And because I am president and presidents are responsible for everything, Biden would take the blame, and that's the one way to make sure Biden's not reelected.
Okay.
Oh, whatever. Jeez.
Bro.
He hasn't accepted responsibility for not one thing. Not one thing. Everything is somebody else's fault. Either Trump or Putin or
MAGA Republicans.
Yeah. Yep. Every single item.
I tell you, I just want that man gone.
Oh, my gosh.
So badly. How many days we got left?
They have introduced, Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced articles of impeachment last week against him. But will that go anywhere? No. I mean, they might impeach him in the House, but the Senate would never convict. So, But should they try? Absolutely. I think the guy is guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors, and we don't even know the tip of the iceberg about what he's done, about all the corruption that he is responsible for. He and his crime family.
Yeah.
Incredible.
There was something where there was a poll that came out that I'll go and double check this, but I'm pretty sure it was that the majority of Americans think that he was involved in Hunter Biden's dealings.
Well, it's pretty clear he was.
Well, yeah, but to
Hunter
you and me
said.
and to this audience, but
Yeah.
I got to go and find these numbers, but I'm pretty sure the majority of Americans think that too. So
Finally.
let's go. 609 days, 5 hours, 42 minutes mark remaining in the Joe Biden presidency. First term, I should say.
609.
It's just right around the corner, Pat. Right around the corner.
Well, time does go by fast, but when you're dealing with this buffoon, I don't know. Let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. Are you selling your home? Are you buying a home? Maybe you're selling and buying, relocating somewhere. You need somebody you can turn to who can help you through all the really tough decisions. And those are realtors from Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's Glenn's company. He put this thing together because he had such a bad experience with a realtor that he was using in Connecticut. And so his expensive house just sat there, and they had to lower the price over and over and over again because the realtor didn't know what they were doing. He eventually got $39.95 for the house, which is not good. It's a little under what they paid for it. So he didn't want your experience to be that, and that's why they put together these great, committed, successful realtors all across the country. Whether you're buying or selling, you're going to love your agent that you get through Real Estate Agents I Trust. You're going to partner yourself with a competitive winning machine. It's Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky was in Japan with the G7. Of course, Ukraine's obviously not part of the G7. He just showed up to have his hand out.
He knew.
Give me some. I want more. I need. Look at him, dude. It's embarrassing. Dude, put a suit on for the occasion.
He knew where the money was. He's like, oh, that's one-stop shopping.
Jeez.
I'll just hit them all up at the same place.
Did the other... there's only 6 others in that particular picture, but Did that not give you a clue as to maybe what the dress code was for the day? What do you get? This guy is just amazing to me. Anyway, he had his hand out, had his palms ready to receive more money because he's asking all of them for more money, not just us. And he'll certainly get it. Also, over the weekend, Jake Sullivan from the NSA was on with Jake Tapper discussing Ukraine and apparent accounting errors that were involved in funding the war that's happening right now.
No.
There was this very bizarre admission from the Pentagon this week of an accounting error that suggested that the U.S. has at least $3 billion that it didn't know it had that it can use for Ukraine aid.
What?
That's a hell of an accounting error. And it provides a lot of fodder to critics of U.S. aid to Ukraine and critics who say there's not enough oversight going on. Are you concerned about this accounting error?
No, I'm not.
Well, one thing I just want to make clear, that is not money that went out the door and disappeared. That is not a waste of that $3 billion. It is simply a tally of how much military equipment we have given them. And the way that the Pentagon was counting it was, what's the replacement cost for the equipment we provide, rather than just the actual cost of that equipment. Once you make that adjustment, it turns out we have an additional $3 billion that we can spend to provide even more weapons to Ukraine.
Oh, wonderful. I was worried that we were going to shortchange him there for a minute.
No, it won't happen. Won't happen. By the way, on Zelensky, 4 months ago, somebody pointed out on Twitter, 4 months ago, he was in front of the Congress saying, hey, if you give us this round of billions or whatever, then we're going to be able to successfully defend the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it fell over the weekend to Russia. So now I don't know what he's going to ask for now. I don't know specifically. There's been talk, of course, of F-16s. Biden saying that we're going to train the pilots, and where the F-16s come from, though specifically, it sounds like allied countries. So what are we just? Yeah,
that we gave the allied countries.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
they're just like the middleman.
Yeah,
this is so ridiculous.
Yep.
And by the way, kudos to Pathead Live Free. He suggested that we just start calling this thing what it is. It's the Great Reset War. That's how we should refer to this Ukrainian situation. Because the only purpose of this, yes, to defend Ukraine from evil Vladimir Putin, it's also to change our way of life and change the structure of the world and our standing in it. So I think the Great Reset War is a great way to describe this thing. But yeah, it's they're asking for more money, and they're going to get it. He's going to get it.
Oh, no question. Oh, good. We have another $3 billion that we thought we already gave you, but we didn't, and so now we're going to. Okay. All right. So that's not going to be $3 billion in savings for us.
No.
That's returned to its rightful owners, the American taxpayer. No, we're going to send that over to Ukraine as well, because for some reason these Democrats are all about war right now. And they love it.
Yeah. And by the way, I found this poll. This was a Harris-Harvard poll, I believe. But here's the question: from what you know, do you think Joe Biden was involved with his son in an illegal influence peddling scheme while he was vice president, or do you think that is not the case? 53% of Americans polled say he was involved, including 1 out of every 4 Democrats.
Wow.
Yeah, 80% of Republicans. And
so it's 53 to, and what's the number?
47. 53, 47.
Oh, yeah. So it is direct.
Straight up, yeah. Joe Biden was involved. Joe Biden was not
like,
involved. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's none of those.
Right, no.
It's 50. Wow.
Yeah, and so you got 25% of Democrats who think he was involved in these illegal dealings, 79% of Republicans, and 58% of independents.
Wow.
609 days.
Wow. Yep, we'll be counting them off as we go. And since this administration, of course, screws up everything they touch, it's the opposite of the Midas touch. What would you call the opposite of the Midas touch?
Oh, boy. I don't know.
They have it, whatever it is.
I don't know that it's arable.
But Sullivan was asked about a recent drone strike in Syria.
The U.S. is walking back claims that a drone strike in Syria earlier this month killed a senior leader of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. The family of the man killed told CNN he was just a 56-year-old shepherd with 10 kids, 0 connections to terrorism.
Oh, my God.
Is that right, that the strike did not kill the senior Al-Qaeda leader? It killed a civilian. And if it is true that it was a civilian killed, is anyone going to be held accountable?
Are they ever?
Well, in fact, Jake, it was President Biden who stood up with Secretary Austin guidelines for this administration to ensure that there would be accountability and oversight of any potential
Pause it for a second.
casualty.
Are you kidding me? What have been the repercussions? Who's been held accountable for the family of 10 they killed in Afghanistan when everything went belly up? I was going to use another body part for up, but I think belly up will have to work. Well. Do you remember when they supposedly killed the terrorists?
Sure do.
And it turned out to be a family of, I think, 10.
Sure do.
A bunch of them were kids. And whose head rolled over that? Nobody's been held accountable. Are you kidding me?
I can't even believe, obviously, he's not going to give a straight answer to Jake Tapper here.
No.
But for him to lean on that answer?
Unreal.
Shut up.
See the rest of this.
From counterterrorism strikes. In this particular instance, the Pentagon is conducting a full and thorough investigation. They will report the results of that investigation to the president, and we will proceed from there.
Will you? Okay, great. Well, man, does that fill me with confidence. I am just bursting with confidence in this administration right now.
Think about this. We had John Kirby a few weeks ago, and it was on this whiteboard for the longest time, and I had the quote. They were talking about, hey, who's going to be held responsible? Who's going to be accountable for the Afghanistan withdrawal screw-up?
It's not about
quote, it's not about personal accountability. Yeah, I mean,
at all. Unreal. I mean, the worst, again. Could they? Yeah, I suppose they could and will get worse. But man, it seems like we've hit rock bottom with this leadership. Meanwhile, check this out: Democrats have been scrambling to avoid a potential embarrassment for Joe Biden in New Hampshire in 2024 after the DNC approved a calendar that gave the state slot to South Carolina. So rather than being second, I guess New Hampshire's always second. It's going to be South Carolina now. The move puts New Hampshire in a shared second slot on the primary calendar with Nevada, but it could actually keep Biden's name off the ballot.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
New Hampshire has a state law that requires it to have its primary a week before the rest of the country.
Okay.
With a Republican-led state legislature and governor, changing the state law to appease Democrats is not likely. Huh. A Republican-led legislature in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know that I was aware of that. We can't change our laws, and that's that. We're hosting the first primary, said Ray Buckley, chairman of the New Hampshire Democratic Party. The president can decide if he wants to put his name on the ballot. Oh, wow.
Huh.
Although losing New Hampshire to challengers Marianne Williamson or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would not likely harm Biden's chance of being the party's nominee, it could provide an embarrassment for him early in the election process.
Yeah, and that would be good publicity to whoever wins that, right? I mean,
yeah, it would.
It's like you're going to hear,
right?
Oh, RFK Jr. won New Hampshire. You won't know all this other minutia going on.
The other idea they had was to give the state an extension, but Democrats have also rejected that notion, claiming it wouldn't do any good. All right. Well, that'd be fun. If Biden loses New Hampshire, if he doesn't even show up on the ballot, that's a positive step in the right direction.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
They have manipulated this calendar to help Joe, and it might end up backfiring.
Hurting him.
I love that. Honestly, my number one goal for 2024 is just Biden out. Period. Biden out. I'll take the yodeling Marianne Williamson over Joe Biden.
Whew. 888-933-93. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here from Storytime61. Ticks me off that Biden goes to other countries and totally disrespects half of us in his own country. So un-American. I hate this pedo. Fortunately, I don't hate anyone. There's no room for hate inside me. I simply dislike him with all the intensity of 15 trillion white-hot burning suns. But not hate. Not hate.
So we're up to 15 trillion?
15 trillion. With inflation now, it is up to 15 trillion.
Okay.
White-hot burning suns. George says, listening to Biden talk gets harder every day. Is Fetterman writing his speeches? Lumbee IT department. We found an accounting error that lets us give even more money to Ukraine than we thought. Good, because I wanted to make sure when we default on our debt, we really default. From Diane, the Great Reset War is the correct name, not Ukraine. Our money is being redistributed like they wanted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like this from, let's see, Lumbee IT department. Husband comes home. Honey, I was going over my bets with my bookie. Turns out I have $3 billion I didn't bet. And the wife says, that's great. And then he says, so I'm going to bet it all on the Falcons winning the Super Bowl. Wait. That's low.
Yeah.
And it's accurate.
But it's accurate. It really is. Now, check out these polls in hypothetical matchups between Biden and Harris against Trump and DeSantis as we look ahead to 2024. This is a Harris poll, which was conducted through Harvard. And it has Trump beating Biden 47 to 40%. You have Trump 50% to 39% if he was going up against Kamala Harris. Biden 42 in a dead tie with DeSantis, 42 all. And Harris in a dead heat with DeSantis, 42 all.
So Trump beats Biden by 7. Trump beats Harris by 11. And DeSantis is tied with both Biden and Harris. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Someone challenging Joe Biden and the Democratic nomination for 2024, of course, RFK Jr. He's been making the rounds. And he talked about the Durham report that was just released, last week. Mm-hmm. Here's what RFK Jr. had to say about it.
The Democrats don't like, and the mainstream media is not really talking about the Durham report. But for me, because I've been concerned for so many years about, about the CIA's illegal propagandizing American people, which it's not legally allowed to do. That report is appalling. And it's not just the report and the guy who did it, which you can say, okay, he had some motive or whatever, but, it's the transcripts of the conversations that the CIA and FBI agents were having where they were acknowledging that what they were doing was wrong, that it had no basis. And so you have the CIA coming in, 50 top-level CIA agents who agree to collaborate in a project to fix an election. And to discredit one of the candidates. And, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't think he was a good president. But people are allowed to disagree with that. And I can be friends with people who don't agree with me. And I can listen to their point of view. And, we need to apply rules across the board.
Yeah,
I
completely agree.
We can't just say it's okay to shut up Donald Trump. It's okay for CIA agents to fix an election against him.
Interesting. The Democrats are so radical. They're so far to the left now that they make RFK Jr. look like a conservative by comparison. I mean, because he still makes sense on certain topics.
Sure does.
He also made some sense about Bitcoin. He was talking about Bitcoin to, I think, some Bitcoin people.
It was the Bitcoin conference over the weekend, and he showed up there, and you talk about somebody who gets it, man. He understands Bitcoin and its importance. It cannot be overstated.
And we are now living in this age of turnkey totalitarianism, where this emerging technology which can empower totalitarian regimes. And our job is to try to build and fortify democratic institutions at the same rate as that totalitarian instruments are being expanded in their power.
Oh, that's a good point.
Things like AI, which really are going to threaten democracy at its base. We need to not be chipping away at our democratic institutions. We need to be fortifying the ones that exist and building new ones. And the biggest, most important one on the horizon is Bitcoin, because it can't be manipulated. All of you, I know, are here, again, not because you love a currency, but because you love our country, you love democracy, you love freedom. And in that sense, your support of Bitcoin puts you in the same category as the framers of the Constitution that gave us that Bill of Rights, that created these democratic institutions. And you are the current manifestation of that impulse. So thank you all very much for everything that you do.
Boy. Again, compare that to Joe Biden.
Right. Right.
You know, you compare it to DeSantis, and of course, he's pretty left-wing still, because there's a lot of things that we disagree with him on. But we found commonality on 4 or 5 different subjects lately with him.
I'm finding commonality on more and more things with him. Obviously, Bitcoin there. He mentioned AI and the threat from that. And
definitely together on the vaccines
thing. And lockdowns and this government overreach stuff. But Bitcoin and digital and cryptocurrencies are in the crosshairs of every Marxist.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's administration included. And the next president needs to understand the importance of that. And you know, folks like RFK, DeSantis, and I think even Trump to a degree are really starting to understand, maybe we don't regulate that so much.
Right.
At all.
DeSantis took a little bit of a dig, apparently, at Donald Trump. See if you can ascertain what it is.
Is it cryptic?
It's subtle and cryptic.
The way they weaponized these COVID vaccines was a massive incursion into our freedoms. They wanted to deny people the right to put food on their table if they didn't bend the knee and get a COVID shot that they may not have wanted and that many of them did not need. We can never allow warp speed to trump informed consent in this country ever again.
Wait, I didn't catch it. Was there something there?
Oh, okay.
Was there
Maybe you can
there?
play the last 10 seconds and see if we can...
I'm so glad you asked for the last 10 seconds, because when you watch the last 10 seconds, watch DeSantis. I'm watching you rewind it there, Joe. Yeah, pick it up about there, but before you press play, notice DeSantis does not want to screw this line up.
Yeah.
So he looks long and hard at his notes. Watch this.
And that many of them did not need. We can never allow warp speed to trump informed consent in this country ever again.
Wow. Oh.
Okay.
Can we go back to the RFK line? I thought that was great. Turnkey totalitarianism.
That's a great line.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Yes. So
it's exactly
that's the world we're living in, man. Absolutely, we are.
Man. It was a bad week for the FBI last week and American intelligence agencies. Here's a report about the FBI's bad week in particular.
Breaking tonight, new allegations that the FBI overstepped its authority in conducting investigations against American citizens. And not just a few times. We're talking in the hundreds of thousands of times.
Wow.
Correspondent David Spont is at the Justice Department tonight with the breaking details. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. This story is quite something. This court document released just a few hours ago found that the FBI misused a popular digital surveillance tool on everyday Americans more than 278,000 times in 2020 going into 2021.
Our bad.
We're specifically talking about Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, also known as FISA. It gives the FBI and other agencies the ability to digitally surveil without a court order or a warrant We now know the FBI used the tool on people connected to the civil unrest following the death of George Floyd on the streets of the United States, those involved in the January 6th Capitol attack, even political donors. According to the court, a redacted name or names, quote, conducted a batch query for over 19,000 donors during a congressional campaign. The analyst who ran the query advised that the campaign was a target of foreign influence, but the National Security Division determined that only 8 identifiers used in the query had sufficient ties to foreign influence activities to comply with the querying standard. The judge wrote that the problems were persistent and widespread, and, quote, it may become necessary to consider other responses, such as substantially limiting the number of FBI personnel with access to unminimized Section 702 information.
Yeah, I mean, even Jerry Nadler is talking about, because this authorization runs out at the end of this year, like, maybe we revisit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? You might need to do that. And
278,000 times.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Wow. And 8 of them were found to have foreign ties?
Of that specific congressional campaign targeting? Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear.
8 out of 278,000.
Why don't you run some of those checks on the Obama campaigns?
Oh, man.
Of 2008, 2012, Hillary, and Joe. Why don't we see where that foreign money is really coming from?
Yeah.
I swear, these
They don't want the answer to that. That's why they won't do it.
These
they will not do
alphabet agencies are never held to account. If we don't get a church committee or something like that to go in there and completely dismantle this insanity, and that's not even going to be enough, honestly.
Yeah, there needs to be a severe house cleaning at the FBI. They need to sweep out all the leadership and start over again. Obviously, they've gotten completely out of control. And something needs to be done about it. You can't have, the biggest federal law enforcement agency in this country being corrupt and politicized the way it is. You can't have that.
Yeah, when are we going to get all that January 6th footage? See how many federal agents were present there on January 6th.
We still have, 14,000 hours or something of footage that we have not seen. Why? I thought that McCarthy was going to make that available to all of us.
Thought so, too.
We're still waiting for our copy. We'll see. Also, Representative... Well, first, let me take a minute and tell you about Birch Gold Group, because inflation has consequences, as you know, and the Fed just keeps raising interest rates, trying to combat the out-of-control government spending. Long-term bonds have diminished in value, crippling banks. Depositors are holding their breath, and investors are just bailing on bank stocks. So it's really important right now to diversify. The recent surge in gold prices is directly tied to the extreme market volatility, to the stock market, and to inflation. That's why gold has historically been a great hedge against the stock market and against inflation. So if you've been thinking about it, now is the time to diversify with Birch Gold Group. They make it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA or 401k in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Text PAT to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. They'll help you convert your existing retirement account that's tied to a volatile market into an IRA in physical precious metals, gold and silver. Again, text PAT to 989898. Claim your free info kit. Go over it. See if it's right for you. They have an A-plus rating from the BBB. They have thousands of happy customers and countless 5-star reviews. This is who you need to protect your future. Birch Gold. Text PAT to 989898 today.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Also, Congressman Dan Bishop let it be known that a top bank has been working hand in hand with the FBI.
Yeah, we just heard the report of 278,000 of these FISA things.
Right.
The other, what was the other one we just had? From the same thing. But now we've got this. I swear, it never ends with these people. Mm-hmm. It absolutely never ends. They're going after whistleblowers. Now, we're a free country. This is insanity. Watch this.
And I think Americans need to hear it because there are other glimpses of just how the victimization is going on and how it's victimization at scale. This is one fact that struck me. The Bank of America records, the story that Bank of America turned over the credit card transactions, whether for an aircraft or a lodging or the purchase of a cup of coffee, for everyone who decided to come to Washington, to be in Washington area, the Northern Virginia area. That's one of the things that you asked questions about. There are victims all over the place. All of the people who suffered when the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security got involved in censorship with social media platforms, millions and millions of tweets and narratives being taken down. That is victimization at scale. It must be resolved. And the fact that those who profess to be most concerned about victimization of people by law enforcement in this country join in the victimization of you. I think that's the takeaway, at least for me, from this hearing.
Gosh, man.
That's not a good takeaway.
Every debit card transaction through Bank of America for 3 days in Washington, D.C. Does that sound like the United States of America or Soviet Russia?
Well, if you have to ask the question, the answer is already pretty apparent. You know, I think we briefly mentioned this last week, one of the main conclusions from the Durham report was that, you know, the hearts and minds of the FBI and the DOJ are corrupted.
Yes.
And how do you fix that? You got to clean house. You got to get rid of these people whose hearts and minds have been turned against the American people and get them focused on real issues. You know, right now they're focused on parents at these school board hearings. That's who they're investigating. They're investigating white supremacists. Really? Is that really the biggest issue we have in this country? Everybody knows the answer is no. I mean, they're trying to make that Marine who Daniel Penny, trying to make him a white supremacist. Where did that come from? Just because the person he put in the chokehold was black, now he's a white supremacist. Everybody's a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And he, of course, he did an interview for the first time last week and said, "I'm not a white supremacist at all. I love people. Ask anybody who knows me. There's no evidence of this. Stop it." But that's all they have. And so they keep beating that drum. Jeez. Something's got to be done about the FBI, or we're going to continue to have these corruption problems, and they're going to get worse.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here. Call it like I see it. Tweets every single day is an embarrassment to this president and his presidency.
I just wonder, are his handlers cringing or laughing when Joe Biden sounds the way Joe Biden sounds?
Who knows? Who knows with these people? From Alex Gray, can we use all these donations to Ukraine as a deductible on our national debt? Yeah, well, it should be a write-off for us, shouldn't it?
I like the way you think.
Woody Handle 18. Yes, Pat, New Hampshire does have a Republican majority. To prove it in true Republican fashion, a few of them just jumped sides to tank the Parents' Bill of Rights bill. Ah, nice.
Oh, so that sounds definitely
typical
Republican.
Mm-hmm. Texas Lori D. Frankly, I'm a little girl squeal excited over a Kennedy-DeSantis debate.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be fun. Big Poppy. Man, what I'd give for a DeSantis-Kennedy general election debate. Would blow people's minds.
It sure would.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I've said from the beginning, don't write off RFK Jr. He's got a message that appeals to a lot of independents. It could get very interesting, especially in these states where anybody can vote in the Democrat primary.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that man came out with a 6-point Bitcoin plan to protect your money and your assets in that realm, that's speaking to a lot of people out there. This is going to get so
Wouldn't that be something if the sitting president of the United States lost in a primary, that would be something else.
It would be.
Wow.
Especially in the context of 81 million votes.
Yeah.
Think of that. You hear worst to first.
How about first to worst?
Right. That'd be
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah, it would. A lot of states with some common sense remaining have been trying to pass bills that stop allowing children to have their genitals mutilated and their hormones changed or, stilted in some way. Like Nebraska, where the state legislature was debating last week. And here's one Democrat lawmaker in that state who isn't happy with how things are going.
People belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here.
Was she expecting backup here? People to sing with her, chant with her?
We need trans people.
That's what mental illness looks like right there.
People belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
How long are they going to let her do this?
I think it's her time on the floor, Pat. Free speech, Pat.
You matter.
Oh, you matter.
You matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow.
Okay.
You are loved.
You're loved.
You matter. You belong here.
Wow.
A lot of passion for chopping up body parts of little kids.
Was she placed directly into a straitjacket after that? Because she should have been. And then rushed to a room with rubber walls and lock the door behind you when you leave. Because, wow. Talk about mental illness. That's just freakishly sad.
That's exactly what that was.
Sad.
I'm sure she's probably big on the new Adidas Pride collection that features biological male models in women's swimsuits.
That's great.
So she's probably like... I saw this thing that 2 years ago, Pat, in the United States, 1 in 10,000 men identified as trans. Okay? 2 years ago, 1 in 10,000 men and 1 in 30,000 women. Right now, we're up to 1 in 20 women identifying trans.
1 in 20?
Yeah, that's this new thing here, this new report.
What?
Shut up. No, you're not.
That can't be. Wow. But so it went from 1 in 30,000
women, to
1 in 20.
I got some issues with that stat, but just the fact that it's out there alone, it's just said so much about our society.
Wow.
Right now.
I mean, we've talked about it being a social contagion, which I believe it is.
That's a good phrase for it.
That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and Alex Nitzberg, who writes for The Blaze, I thought his tweet over the weekend when he called gender-affirming care, that phrase, and you've said that's the opposite of what it really is.
Yep.
He said that is just classic Orwellian doublespeak.
Yeah, for sure.
It literally means the opposite of affirming a person's immutable biological sex. But absolutely Orwellian. That's perfectly stated. And also, James Woods... So, on Twitter, because you're on Twitter all the time, right? Under Elon Musk, there's now a community notes section. So if someone posts something that the community has research or facts that disagree with the conclusion of the tweet, they will post it down there. They give it context. And I really appreciated James Woods over the weekend saying that, hey, when are we going to get some... it keeps being misrepresented as care, this genital mutilation of children. When are we going to get some community notes on this? Because it's an atrocity. It's not care. So I appreciated that. That was a good point as well. So anyway, I don't know. The trans community is it's not even, man, it is, what did you call it? A social contagion. That's precisely what this is.
And here in Texas, we have a Speaker of the House who's really not a conservative. So getting meaningful things done has been a little bit more of a challenge than it probably should be in the great state of Texas. Here's Texas Speaker Dade Phelan last year, just so you can hear what his voice sounds like. Here's the way he sounded last year.
Okay.
And I will say, as we draw close on the 87th session, I want to take stock of what we've done in this House. Coming in with COVID and the first pandemic in 102 years.
Okay. So, I mean, there's Dade Phelan's voice.
Yeah.
Just so you can hear. Just a normal type deal, right? So, I don't know what was going on the other night.
So, apparently he showed up to work a little bit tipsy, perhaps?
Or had a stroke on the spot. Either way, nobody did anything about this.
Interesting.
And it's quite memorable what took place.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Mr. Campbell, send an amendment. The amendment is acceptable to the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none. Amendment is adopted.
What in the world?
Wait.
The chair recognizes Mr. Johnson of Harris. Mr. Johnson of Harris to speak in opposition to.
We talking about Harris County? Okay.
You want the chair recognizes Ms. Niave Criado to speak.
The chair recognizes Ms. Niave Criado to speak in opposition to the bill.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Ms.
So having some issues there.
Whoa.
Dade Phelan?
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if there's an update on this.
Somebody has to have noticed that, right?
Oh, well, the world noticed it Friday night.
Jeez. Hello?
I'm just looking to see if...
that's like a Fetterman situation.
Man.
Is he just drunk, or did something bad happen to him?
I don't know, man.
Wow. Remember the Bertation from the TV reporter? It's kind of like that.
Kind of like that.
Eek. We called it a Bertation because I think that's one of the words she said.
Which is perfect. We should totally find that.
Got to find that again because, wow.
Yeah, I'm not seeing an update like, the State House doctor, took him into blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not seeing any follow-up here.
That's weird.
Very, very odd. Yeah.
I mean, there should be a follow-up to that because there needs to be some kind of explanation there. Also, if you haven't heard, there was a pregnant nurse that was just dragged through the mud on social media recently. She was accused of stealing a rental bike from 5 black teens in New York City. And people online, of course, calling her a racist. She's had to go into hiding. Her hospital, where she's a nurse, put her on leave of absence, and she was called a criminal. She was given the nickname Citi Bike Karen. Her name is Sarah Comrie, and the whole ordeal is just really horrible. But watch this.
So, yeah, Citi Bikes are stuff you can rent, right?
Yeah, you show up at a street corner, and they've got bikes.
Swipe
that you
your
can,
card, and then you take it to the next stop or whatever, So
you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan. You pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's his.
Reset it.
I'm going to pull it out on your account.
You an actor.
This is my bike. Crying. Guys, he's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Stop fake crying, they tell her.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Why don't you take this bike?
Stop touching me.
You're not touching. I will. I take it. Exactly. So take it.
Baby gonna come out with time.
How you stop crying? Not a tear came down, miss. Not a tear came down.
Jeez.
So
she had this. She has the receipt, right, that she paid to take the bike.
Yes. So that what you witnessed there wasn't reverse racism. It wasn't toxic masculinity. It was a Karen picking on 5 youths, is what that white supremacy in action. A 5-month, 6-month pregnant nurse decides, man, you know what? It's been a long day at my shift. I think I'll just steal this bike. But that's the conclusion that social media. Benjamin Crump, the attorney, the guy who's always causing trouble, and he had to rescind that tweet. It's going to be interesting to see how her lawyer, Sarah's lawyer, he's got a long list of people he needs to make phone calls to. Let's put it that way. And she's already. Do we have what's the GoFundMe? I don't even know. What last time I checked, last night it was over 100,000 people have come to her defense. raise money for her.
So they raised $100,000 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Help Sarah Comrie fight being branded a Karen.
Yep. Yeah, so this is after a 12-hour shift. She's like, yeah, I'm going to go and steal a bike from some unsuspecting youths.
So ridiculous.
Really? I mean, come on. So, so she has the screenshot that shows that she paid for it, and they have paused on that video. You see the bike number, and then you see her receipt and the time, and they match up. So who paid for that? Yeah. So are there going to be any repercussions there?
No.
Think so?
No.
No?
You know there won't.
Okay.
There won't be.
Yeah. And by the way, meanwhile, the NCAA has issued a travel warning for black athletes going to the state of Florida, saying it's a hostile environment for them.
The NAACP.
Yeah. I'm sorry, NAACP.
The NAACP.
For any blacks, right? It's not the black athletes?
Yeah. And the NAACP leader who issued that warning for blacks lives in Florida. He lives there. But so how dangerous is it? I mean, why aren't you getting out then? One thing after another. It's really sad. Just because, DeSantis is doing a great job. He's actually fighting against the woke mob nonsense. And so Florida now being attacked by the left in every way they possibly can attack it. And there's absolutely no reason for it. Show me what's going on that is endangering black people in Florida. What are you even talking about? Yeah. It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
But that actually is good news compared to what I thought I just saw on the screen there. I thought it was the NCAA. It's like your joke. I actually read that as that. But still, okay. Well, I'm glad the NAACP is finding new ways to stay relevant.
Me too. Ugh. That's really important. All right. Let me tell you about a brand new sponsor to the show, Fume.
All right.
Cold turkey might be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. I'm not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor or, some weird technique. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? That's where Fume comes in. It's an innovative award-nominated device that just helps you break your bad habits. Oh. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, it has all natural, delicious flavors. Now, I've never vaped or smoked or any of those things. But I did try this out, and it's fantastic. I think you're going to really love it.
Oh, cool.
The taste is great. The first time you try it, they've got several different flavors that you can try. And, stopping doing bad habits is really hard. And it's something we put off because it's so hard to do. That's where Fume comes in to make these things easier. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com. That's TRYFUM. Just FUM without the E at the end. Tryfume.com. Use the promo code UNLEASHED, and you'll save 10% when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com. Tryfume.com. Use the promo code UNLEASHED to save an additional 10% off your order today.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where HappyPappy61 tweets. We love trans people. Say that fast 50,000 times. Yeah, like this woman just did.
We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here.
This is a representative, right? In what state? Nebraska. Okay.
We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
my
We love trans
Okay.
people. Trans people belong here.
Got it. That's great. Trump's colon tweets.
What?
Trump's colon? Yeah.
I don't know.
Or cologne? It's not cologne. It's not spelled right for that.
Okay.
Why does she think we need trans people?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I'm looking. There are quite a few mental institutions in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, okay. So there are places she could go.
Sure are.
All right. Wow. Gregory Dean, I've been a teacher for more than 20 years. 6 years ago, I saw my first trans student, girl to boy. This year, I had at least 5 girls who were some form of trans at my school here in Utah. I hear it's much worse in blue areas.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And just understand what people like the psycho chick there in Nebraska are upset about. They want children to have the ability to be mutilated and changed for the rest of their lives.
Access to puberty blockers and all of that stuff.
They want pornography in schools.
Yep.
And they want the ability to show this pornography to children. Which, by the way, who made the point? I think wasn't Hogasm, I think, was the Pat Head who made the point. If I got this wrong, I apologize. But you wouldn't even be allowed to say some of the stuff that's in these books on the air. Like the FCC would come down hard on a radio station for saying the stuff that their children are expected to learn.
Yeah.
And view.
Right.
A great point.
And if you don't want them to, you're a terrible person. You're discriminatory. You're a transphobe. You're a homophobe. Whatever.
We love trans people. We need trans people. Shut up. Just go away.
It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre.
Social contagion.
Yep.
Yes, I mean, that is the phrase.
Plus, we've got some more white supremacy for you. The notion of waking up early and starting your day with the rising sun is often associated with productivity, success, and a strong work ethic. However, this seemingly innocuous concept is not without its historical and cultural implications.
Of course. Teach us.
In this article, Anthony Bernardi is going to explore the origins of the early rising narrative and how it's rooted in white supremacy.
Let's explore.
Contributing to the perpetuation of racial inequalities. Again, we're talking about getting up early. So, Keith, I guess you and I are pretty big white supremacists.
We're high up in the
Holy
rankings.
cow.
Yes, for sure.
The idea that waking up early leads to success in a disciplined life can be traced back to various historical and religious contexts.
Here we go. Educate us.
In the Western world, this belief has been strongly influenced by Protestantism and by the Puritan work ethic, which emphasized hard work, diligence, and self-discipline as virtues.
Let's get Christianity in there. Okay.
This work ethic has long been considered an essential component of the American dream and the idea that success can be achieved through dedication and effort. I guess we're going to prove otherwise in this article. The early rising ideology is not inherently racist. However, its connections to white supremacy can be seen when examining the broader historical and social contexts. During the era of European colonialism and the Atlantic slave trade, the concept of hard work and productivity became intertwined with race. Enslaved Africans were forced to work tirelessly from sunrise to sunset, and their white oppressors often used the rhetoric of hard work and discipline to justify their inhumane treatment.
So when your alarm clock goes off, what time does it go off, Pat?
2:30.
You're thinking, man, I'm doing this because my roots are in the
slave trade.
In the slave trade,
Exactly.
and I'm just kind of upholding that vision of my racist roots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that it created a false narrative that Africans were inherently lazy and needed the civilizing influence of their white masters to teach them the value of work.
Yeah, I think this every morning that alarm clock goes off. Yep. You got me. Busted.
This stereotype has persisted, and it continues to be perpetuated in various forms, such as the model minority myth, which suggests that certain racial and ethnic groups are inherently more disciplined and successful than others. The idea that waking up early is a sign of superior work ethic and a key to success serves to reinforce racial inequalities in several ways. For one, It places the blame for economic disparities on the individual. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Rather than acknowledging the systemic barriers that hinder the success of marginalized communities.
No.
By promoting the notion that anyone can achieve success if they simply work hard and wake up early, it ignores the structural racism that has created and maintained these inequalities.
Sure. I mean, I'm not a racist. You're not a racist. You know how we can go about proving this, Pat? We can start sleeping in. I think that's the only way to convince others that we're good people.
And what time do you need to sleep until in order to not be a white supremacist and a racist? I wonder.
I don't know, but based on my son's sleeping habits,
just gets dumber
he
every
is
day.
the most woke person in the world.
Okay.
Being that he sleeps until the afternoon.
Creating a more inclusive and equitable society involves redefining our understanding of productivity and success. This means recognizing that there are various ways to be productive and that the traditional 9-to-5 work schedule may not be best and the best fit for everyone.
So these are people that want to feel good about themselves for sleeping in.
Because they don't get up till 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock. And they want it to be okay.
And you said that was written by Ezra Malinak? Is that right? My 17-year-old son?
No, surprisingly.
No, okay.
Anthony Bernardi, but that's
Oh,
close.
that's his pen name.
Yeah,
That's Ezra's.
okay.
What
What else?
Madness.
What else?
Everywhere.
Everything that we've ever held dear or respected or admired in people, it's all racist now. Everything.
Yeah. Don't be a hardworking, good person.
No, don't do it.
Don't
get up early.
That's just...
Yeah. White supremacy.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
We were just talking about white supremacy, and white supremacists apparently are early risers. Pathetic. Thinking that productivity and hard work is important. It's ridiculous. White supremacists just think they can do whatever they want. We got more proof of that in Great Britain, where apparently some of these white supremacists think they can just walk into other people's homes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just walk in.
That doesn't sound good at
and
all.
record themselves doing it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just entering random houses.
All right, let's see.
Get into random houses, let's go.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, white supremacists, like you said.
Yeah. And
excuse me, what are you doing?
they just walk into this house. It is not theirs.
James. Hi. You man, come. Hello, James. We need to speak to James. James.
Oh, no.
Hi. Oh, that James.
No.
Is this where the study group is? Study group. No. What door number is this? No. Study group. 5:30.
So they think it's a cool thing to just walk into these people's homes and sit down, make themselves at home.
Wait, this is not where the study group is?
I got kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was the study group. I actually thought.
Wow.
And it's the study group.
Oh, my.
Don't try that in Texas.
Oh, no.
Because that would not end well.
Yeah, these guys have been doing this a lot. Apparently they stole some old woman's dog. Just shooting these videos here. And not good.
Not good at all.
They're just out there bragging about these videos now.
It's bizarre.
What a
Have they been arrested?
disgusting world. I don't know where that stands.
God, it's just crazy.
But now, Sarah the Roma, who sent me this video originally, she hypothesized. No, I don't want to say that. She asked, "Hey, I wonder if," and we have no details of this, just a thought out there. I wonder if you remember when the black kid got shot by the white homeowner. Was it
just because
Kansas
he walked
City?
into the wrong place, right?
I had the wrong home.
Yeah. I wonder if it was one of those deals.
I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that.
But wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know who these guys are, like what their names are, but that's Britain. So chances of you getting shot
less,
pretty slim
probably than
there.
here. But if you try that in Texas, I don't think good things would come your way.
And what do you do if you're that dad,
Jeez.
right? Let's just say
Yeah,
you're one of those parents. Because my first instinct is to grab a gun.
Yeah.
However, you're surrounded by guys who may be armed. You don't know. Your kid's right there in the possible line of fire.
Mm-hmm. Really dangerous situation.
That was
Really
good that
bad.
it resolved itself that quickly, but
that could have been really ugly. Really, really bad.
We're not a society anymore. It's just chaos.
Now, the West is coming apart at the seams.
Yeah.
And part of it is woke corporations that's helping tear at the fabric of our society. But there's been such backlash against, for instance, Bud Light, that it's been kind of fun to watch.
It has been.
It's really
been
amazing.
Awesome.
They are now ready to buy back unsold cases of expired beer that has sat on shelves as consumers revolted over the partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. Bud Light sales have plunged 26% compared to this time last year from the backlash. And now it's been revealed that Anheuser-Busch has told its wholesalers it'll buy back the unsold cases of beer that are past the expiration date. That's how bad it is for them.
It's really funny.
They also plan to overhaul its branding with support for veterans and focusing ads on all-American themes like football and country music.
It's going to be so bad because it's going to be so obvious what they're doing. They've already got the camouflage cans, right?
Yes.
But look at us. See, we're like you. This is going to be fun. I can't wait to see these slow motion commercials.
It's really amazing.
Working in the field, shaking hands in slow motion.
Did we mention we're Garth Brooks fans? We mentioned that. Here at Bud Light, we love us some Garth Brooks.
I can't wait for this joyride of Bud Light commercials.
It's great. Is it time for the Super Bowl yet? Because, man, we can't wait. Football season just around the corner now. Okay.
We like wearing our hats off to the side with grease stains showing too. I mean, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this.
So obvious.
We spit in public too. We talk with a fun accent that only you in the South can understand.
Yeah, listen to us. Don't we sound like we come from the American Southland? You betcha.
We wear overalls and camouflage because we're just like you.
I'm fixing to spit out a big chaw right now. What I'm going to do. Bing. There you go.
I can't wait.
Speaking of these woke corporations, Target is now selling merchandise from a trans designer that apparently promotes violence and Satanism, among other things. Isn't that great?
Yeah, this is the guy who has devil horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this cat.
They're already facing boycotts for selling tuck-friendly bathing suits and LGBTQ onesies for babies. Now they've revealed, it's been revealed that Target is selling LGBTQ pride products from a designer that appears to promote violence, drug use, and Satanism.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Well,
Target sells 3 items by the brand Abprallen, a We Belong Everywhere messenger bag, a Too Queer for Here messenger bag, and a Cure Transphobia Not Trans People shirt. So those are available on the Target website and in its stores. The trans designer said, being able to sell my stuff in Target stores is incredibly exciting. Knowing that people are seeing it without necessarily explicitly seeking LGBT-related stuff is wonderful. And I'm especially happy at the thought that young, closeted people will see it. And I hope that in some way they'll feel a bit more comfortable in themselves, as we all deserve to feel. You can get the sweatshirt and the bags on the Target website or in stores. These have already got the transphobes infuriated with me, and I feel like quite the celebrity to think that they believe this is all some big conspiracy and I have the power, any power, to brainwash anyone when I'm just a guy drawing pictures. Now, this is interesting. Callan claims the word groomer is a, quote, right-wing transphobic word that is currently being used against trans people who stick up for trans youth in the same way it was used against gay people for sticking up for gay youth. However, he confesses that he was groomed when he was young, and he will, quote, likely be working through it for the rest of his life. Okay, it's just a right-wing transphobic word, being a groomer. And then he's been groomed and admits it, and that he's going to be in therapy dealing with it for the rest of his life? Okay, make up your mind. Which is it? He said, when I was in my very early teens, I was groomed and in an abusive relationship / friendship with a person 10 years older than me. This lasted until my early 20s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, you're making the point.
Pretty much.
Bro.
Pretty much. Yeah. Some of the wonderful things that he features are slogans like, join my gay cult, transitioning saves lives, heteronormativity is a plague, binding doesn't make you less of a man, and trans witches for abortion. Whew. He promotes, his line promotes drug use with a Poppers open your third eye pin. Poppers is slang for drugs known as amyl nitrates that are popular for use during sex. They also sell products that promote Satanism, including a T-shirt that reads, Satan respects pronouns.
Oh, jeez.
I bet he does, actually. It's probably true. Callan proclaims, hail trans demons. Jeez. And on the Instagram page, it states, I went with a variation of Baphomet for this design, a deity who themselves, so I guess the deity's pronouns are they, them, perhaps. Themself is a mixture of genders, beings, ideas, and existences. They reject binary stereotypes and expectations. Perfect. Then, he writes, Satan loves you and respects who you are.
Oh, here we go.
My gosh, man.
Here we go.
You're important and valuable in this world, and you deserve to treat yourself with love and respect. LGBT plus people are so often referred to as being a product of Satan or going against God's will. So, fine, we'll hang with Satan instead. Callan declares that for him, Satan is hope, compassion, equality, and love.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody's going to have a lot of time to hang out with Satan.
Yeah, doesn't it though?
Can you scroll back up there? Something about the witches. I got to hear how these witches. And while you're looking for that reference, I just want to point out. I mean, there are some great follows on Twitter who stand up for kids, and you got Gays Against Groomers.
Mm-hmm.
You got Ollie London and Chad Felix Green, two people who have been down this road of gender dysphoria, who have been a part of this and realized, dear God, what have I done? And they're now fighting very vocally against what is happening to children, and I appreciate that. And I saw somebody pointed out. I thought this was said so well. The trans movement is using the gay movement as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so well said. And thankfully, there are a lot of gay people in the social media realm that are saying, hell no, leave the kids alone. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah,
and
there's trans people saying that as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is the radicals like this guy who are trying to push this on our kids.
Yeah, what's that phrase
It's
again?
trans witches for abortion. Trans witches for abortion.
How do you you're sitting around there, you're
Yep.
stirring your little kettle there with spider legs and kids.
Eye of Newt.
Eye of Newt. There it is. Yeah. What should we call ourselves? How about
trans witches?
Yeah, I mean we're
for abortion.
We're witches and we're trans. Yeah,
and
but we need
love
something.
Abortion.
We need something. Abortion. That's a good one. Yeah, trans witches for abortion.
What if we're also a death cult? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
So we'll do trans witches for abortion. That includes almost everything.
But if you're going to put that much stuff into an acronym, at least have the acronym make its own word. That doesn't work.
Yeah, TWA. That doesn't go anywhere really.
Close.
So TWA though was it used to be an airline.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that's close. Okay.
I mean, what a world! Man.
What a world!
Insane world.
Exactly. All right. Brittney Griner is back. And this time, she's pissed. I think she's less pissed than she used to be, actually.
Yeah, she stands for the national anthem now.
Yeah, she appreciates her country just a tad more. She says the national anthem now hits her differently.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet it does. And thank you. Thank you. We were hoping that might be the case, and apparently it is. But she and her WNBA team, the Phoenix Mercury, were in Los Angeles. And it was the opening day for the WNBA.
All right.
And apparently it wasn't as large a crowd as some may have hoped for. And the Phoenix coach was not happy about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It was great, but honestly, come on, LA. We didn't sell out the arena for BG. I expected more, to be honest, right? It was great, it was loud, but
yeah.
How was it not a sellout?
Because it's the WNBA and nobody cares. But
anyway.
But how is it not a sellout? I don't know. Have you noticed your sport isn't exactly that popular? Maybe that has, I don't know, something to do with it.
So, now wait a minute.
Something else.
By the way, Kamala Harris was there. She was one of those.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, because,
Good.
Is anybody going to stay in Washington to talk about the debt ceiling? I'm tired of hearing that it's like this end of the world stuff. If you guys have time to go to Asia and a WNBA game, are you out of excuses of things to do that aren't talking about the debt ceiling in Washington?
I'd say so, yes.
So they had 10,000 people there.
Really?
Yeah. So what are you complaining about?
What's the sellout in that arena? 18?
I don't know.
15, 18, 20, somewhere in there?
But Los Angeles normally gets 5,000 per game.
Okay, well, you doubled
Right.
the normal attendance. That's not bad at all.
I was looking up the average attendance of WNBA teams, and the NBA high watermark is about 20,000. I forgot what team that was. Probably the Knicks. I have no idea. But the Seattle Storm are the big draw in the WNBA, and they get 10,000. So that's good for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom of the list is the Indiana Fever, who average each game a crowd size of 1,776 people.
Wow.
In attendance.
1776?
1776.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They average 1,700 people per game. Wow. Wow.
It's not a product people are into.
And then they wonder, why don't the WNBA players make as much as the NBA players? Let's think about that for a minute. The figure 60 million comes to mind. I think that's what the revenue is for the WNBA every year. Whereas it's 9 or 10 billion in the NBA. And so with the somewhat larger monetary take, they're able to pay their players just a tad more. So, yeah, attendance is fairly important. And so are TV contracts. And if nobody's watching, then you're not going to get huge TV contracts. That's just the way it is. It's kind of how it works in a capitalist society. Supply and demand, if you will. There were more sports happening over the weekend, though. Check out this ridiculous shot at the PGA Championship in Rochester, New York over the weekend.
Yeah, watch this putt. This is a long putt.
On the green at 17, playing alongside Jordan Spieth, Lee Hodges, his par putt. And
that's your home.
Man.
Are you too good for your home?
Oh my, that's above the hole. That's
watch the ball very carefully. Watch the letters.
Oh, boy.
Maybe.
Oh. It's moving.
It's moving a little, isn't it?
Look at this thing.
Jordan's telling him to wait.
Yeah.
I think it is moving.
Yeah. Lee Hodges, man. What you got there?
It's not quite the drama of Tiger Woods at 16. There it goes. There it goes.
And it went in.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You the man. That was awesome.
But it sat there too long, right? He didn't get credit for that.
Yeah, the player is supposed to address the ball in a reasonable amount of time. They say about 10 seconds.
Okay.
We just sat through 35 seconds of a ball hanging on the edge of the cup there.
Really weird.
So he got a penalty for that, and
you're kidding,
for not tapping it in quicker.
All right.
You know, they should have talked and said, "Look, who's away? Are you out? Who's away? I can't tell who's closer to the pin. Should I go now, or should you want to go?" Anyway, then you could have said you were just discussing it.
There was also, I don't know if it's at this same tournament or event, but there was a hole-in-one at the PGA over the weekend too. I don't think we have that one though, do we? We do have a fun softball play though that you have to see to believe.
Moment here, the payoff. Down the left field line.
This is so cool, man.
Foul territory, enough room, and in and out of the glove.
Umpire says out. Umpire says out.
Okada came up with.
Can I get another angle?
And a quick toss back to first.
Bounces off her glove, then her head, then her arm, then into her hand.
And then she grabs it with her hand.
Here comes the best view, though. Watch this. No, not this. It's one after this. But there you go. It hits her glove, then her head,
hit the wall,
then her left arm, and then into her right hand. And the umpire was there. Credit to him for watching and sticking with it. But now watch this. Here we go. Here comes a better angle. Okay, so it hits her glove, her head.
Bang.
And she got it. How cool is that, man? How cool is that? I love that stuff.
I don't think I've seen anything quite like that before. So that's kind of amazing.
Well, now you can say you have.
Yeah.
And you saw it on Pat Gray Unleashed.
It's exactly where we saw it.
That was cool.
Wasn't it?
That stuff.
Something else you're going to see, too, are the ratings at Fox, which have been stellar since they finally got rid of that dead weight Tucker Carlson.
Right.
You know what? He just kept weighing down the top of the ratings, and they were sick of it.
Weighing down
They're
the
sick
top
of it.
Of the ratings.
Hey, you know what? We're really top-heavy with Tucker Carlson. Let's get rid of him, and then we won't be anymore. Wow. And sure enough, it worked out really well.
So they're that red line that was far and away better than MSNBC, CNN, and Newsmax as far as ratings go.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened.
And something happened. Tucker Carlson was dropped.
Right.
And so...
now they're just one of many choices.
Now look at that. Look at the downward slide since he... especially since he left.
Look at that spike from the CNN Trump town hall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that helped him a lot.
Okay, so
I'm sure
congratulations.
Trump is quite proud of that.
Fox News, you guys did yourself a solid there, apparently.
Didn't they, though? Wow. Because look at that. They're wallowing in the muck and mire with MSNBC, CNN.
They're neck and neck with MSNBC every night now.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Pretty soon they're going to be happy to get Newsmax ratings. But we'll see.
And Newsmax probably going to... Can you put that back up here? I'm sorry. I'm just kind of obsessed with this thing. I'm just trying to figure out... Yeah. Okay, so watch... When Carlson gets fired, there is a definite increase at that moment from Newsmax to kind of pick up some of that audience.
Oh, yeah.
So they have
definitely
been the benefactor for sure. Interesting.
Yeah, look at that. Well, they actually tied CNN at the end there, it looks. It looks like they're
Newsmax?
Virtually, yeah. Newsmax and CNN are virtually tied.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's
I love
amazing.
that so much.
Wow. Well, there you go. Congratulations, Fox News. You're going to be thrilling to probably looking upward at Newsmax pretty soon. Jeez. What a dumb move that was. Really dumb. And what they'll tell you, though, is, well, now the sponsorships, the sponsors are coming back, so we're making more money. Really? And if that's true initially, it won't be later on when the ratings continue to tumble. Your sponsors aren't going to want to pay premium prices for ratings that aren't there anymore.
Right.
They're just not going to do that.
Right. So you're about to go down the hall here, right? And fill in for Stu?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So I'm going to make an overtime suggestion.
Okay.
That Hillary Kennedy come in here and watch animal videos with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, save that one for...
which one?
The dog one.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you want to save an animal?
Yeah, I like the dog one.
Okay, so you want me to
like the dog one?
So you want me just saving that one? You don't want me to save the picture of the rodent hitching a ride? You want that one too?
I don't know that one.
Oh,
so.
okay. It's that picture
Maybe.
right there. See that?
All right.
Okay. How about monkeys eating apples?
Monkeys eating apples. I think you and Hillary can handle that one.
We can have that one?
Yeah, you can handle that one.
Okay, but we'll see. I'm glad to hear. We'll save
Monkeys
the dog.
eating apples. That's good.
You like the
That's
dog
good.
one, though. That's good.
Let me tell you about humans eating cookies. You could be doing that with Kexi cookies.
Okay.
Kexi.com.
Kexi.com.
Got the Father's Day cookie that my wife is working diligently on, even as we speak, and it's going to be fantastic.
What kind of flavors are we talking about?
It's going to be a bar with chocolate chips in it and M&Ms in it. And
I'm a dad.
Kexi.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.